Hey guys, it's Kimmy, and today we are in my car. The past few videos I have filmed in my room. I thought I'd change up the scenery and film here, so here we are in my car. I'm in the passenger seat just because the angle was a little better than in the driver's seat. The air is on just a little bit because it's freaking hot out today, so I apologize if you hear that. And I was gonna stay at my house, but there was no shade at all, which I thought there'd be a little shade, but there was so much sun shining on my car, so I drove it one street over and we are under a tree. So yeah. So today I want to talk to you guys about my therapy experience, my experience with therapists, and basically this video is going to be talking about my experience, what I learned, and whether I recommend going to therapy for you guys. And so I've been thinking about making this video for a while now, and here we are. So let's just get right into it. So first of all, I feel like I have to give you guys some background on why I was going to therapy and what was going on. I've been open about this on my blog about my depression and my eating disorder. I've been pretty open about that, and I plan to continue to be. And so this is my first video on YouTube being open about it. I first became depressed in 8th grade, and I found anorexia to be a great coping mechanism for me. And so it was a way for me to control one aspect of my life when I felt like I couldn't control anything else. So I first became depressed in 8th grade, and it lasted a while. And then after months and months, I decided that I was so exhausted and so tired of being sad all the time and crying every day that I would take matters into my own hands and fix myself, basically. And it took a lot of effort and a lot of time, but I eventually became happy again and we were fine. And then junior year of high school, I became depressed again, hence eating disorder comes into the picture as well. And so this time around, I was too lazy to fix myself. I was too tired, I was too lazy to try to fix myself, so I decided I would go to a therapist. And it's already hard enough trying to admit that to yourself, that okay, we have all these things going on, you're depressed, you're doing this isn't good, you need to go to a therapist. And then I have to explain it to my mom, which is another thing that I didn't want to do. Not that we're not close or I don't share things, but just having to explain why and everything is just something that was tough. And so I had to explain it all to her, and then I would have to explain it all to a therapist too. So it was just this whole thing. And this was happening around late November, early December, I'm pretty sure. And so winter break was right around the corner. All these therapists were going to be going on long breaks. And so it was really hard to try and find a time to squeeze it in. There's a gardener's over here. Anyways, so we were kind of rushing, and so I just kind of picked the 2 therapists randomly, and the insurance gave me a list of therapists, so I just chose 2 randomly that I could meet up with as soon as possible. And so the first one I went to, she was a bit older. She could have been my grandma, and I wanted, first of all, a female therapist just because I felt more comfortable with females, and second of all, I wanted a therapist that was younger but still old enough to be mature and know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? So I wanted someone that I could relate to more in age. And so this lady right away was older, and that was one downfall. And then I started telling her about my issues and basically how I was being bullied at work. And she told me to start rumors and go around and start all this drama at work to try and get back at the manager who's bullying me. I'm a pretty irrational and logical human being, so for her to be telling me that, I was like, what the heck is going on? And so I was like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work out. A day or 2 later, I went to this other therapist. So I only went to one meeting with the first therapist. And then a day or two later, I went to a completely new therapist to see how this one goes. Well, like, I walked in, she was a little younger than the other one. Like, this one was around the age of my mom, so that was fine. A little older than what I wanted, but like, it was fine. She had like cat pillows on her couch, and so I was like, oh my god, this is great. Like, she loves cats, I love cats, this is amazing. First, when you sit down for therapy, they ask you like, oh, why are you here? Like, did your parents force you here, or are you here on your own? And I was like, it was my choice, I'm here on my own. And then they ask you, okay, like, why are you here? What are your reasons? Like, what's going on in your life? Okay, I'm depressed, and like started giving her reasons for why I was and what was going on in my life so she could get an idea. And she basically was like, okay, and I don't know why you're depressed. Like, you have no reason to be. And I was like, excuse me? What? And there was this one like big secret that like I knew would be on its own 100% like a reason to be depressed, and like you have a valid reason for this one thing that was going on in my life. I told her like all these other reasons, and then I was like holding back on this one thing because I thought I'd share it like in a couple more meetings, like not the first one. But she made me feel like so invalid, like my feelings were invalid, that I tried to prove myself. I had to prove myself that I was worthy of being depressed, that I was worthy of her time, and I was worthy of being there. And so I told her this secret that I'd never really said out loud, and she still looked at me like, okay, like, you still have no reason to be depressed. We cut the meeting short. I literally just sat there for the rest of the time not saying anything because I was like, what the heck? What kind of therapist does that? That's so rude and disrespectful to invalidate someone's feelings. I had a friend of mine who was depressed, and she went to therapy, and the therapist didn't make her feel invalid or anything, but she herself felt like her feelings were invalid. She's like, there are people that all across the world that have it worse than me. I don't know why I'm complaining, and I'm so depressed. Like, I have no reason to be. And I was like, you do have a reason to be. If you're depressed, there's a reason, and your feelings are valid. And yeah, people may have it worse than you. There's always going to be someone that has it worse. There's always going to be someone that has it better. So don't beat yourself up about it, okay? If you're feeling one way, it's because you have a reason. And I'm never going to invalidate someone's feelings, because that's one of the worst things you could ever do. I don't even know why she's a therapist. I'm like, do you get like business? You're like the worst therapist on the planet, probably. I don't know how you can study therapy and call yourself a therapist and then go to work every day and invalidate people's feelings and tell them they have no reason to be depressed. How can you do that? What? Those were like the two experiences that I had. I only went to 2 therapists, and I only went to 1 meeting each. For me, ever since junior year of high school, I've known I've wanted to be a therapist. I'm very passionate about it. If anyone asks me what I'm majoring in, my face literally lights up with happiness because I'm so excited to become a therapist. And it's something I'm really passionate about, helping other people. And I've suffered with depression and my eating disorder, and so I've been there. I know all the tricks. I know how it feels. I want to help people get through that and find some happiness in their lives. During this time of going to the therapist, I knew I wanted to be a therapist eventually. After that meeting, my immediate thought was, I'm scared this is going to deter me from this passion of mine, that I'm going to be like, oh, well, I guess that's how therapy is, so I guess I just need to change my profession. I just won't go after that. But it did the complete opposite, which I'm very, very thankful for, because I was in a depressed mindset. I took that experience and was like, she's a really terrible therapist. And so I'm going to work my hardest to become the greatest therapist I can possibly be. And I will never invalidate someone else's feelings. It like motivated me to work harder towards my goal, which I'm so thankful for. Like, oh my god, that could have gone like a completely different direction, but I decided to stick to my goals, and here I am, still working towards them and still super passionate about it. Talked about my experience, what I learned from it, and basically now, do I recommend therapy to you? I do. If you are depressed, I highly recommend talking to someone, whether that's a friend or a family member or a teacher or whoever. Talk to someone, even if it's a therapist. Just please go out and try it. And if you come across a really shitty one, I deeply apologize. That's such a disappointment, and it's so tiring to have to go through all these therapists and try and find one that you like and you're comfortable around, and I know it's really difficult, and so I do apologize if that happens to you, but don't let it completely turn you away from therapy, because therapy is supposed to be something really great and really helpful. I highly recommend it to you if you are thinking about it or you need it and you want to. Really try, and I wish you the best of luck. Today I didn't really share like my depression story or my eating disorder story, and I will eventually make videos on that. I'm good right now. I'm doing well. I'm not restricting my eating. I'm not depressed or anything, so I'm doing really great right now. I felt like comfortable enough to share this with you guys. I will eventually be sharing more on this channel about those experiences, and I hope it really helps you guys. I like sharing these things not to get like pity or anything or attention, but to share that you're not alone. If you're struggling and having all these problems, you're not alone. And yeah, my life may look perfect from the outside because I'm a pretty quiet and reserved person, and so I don't really share a lot with just random people. So my life may look perfect on like Instagram or when you meet me, but I've struggled too, and I have all these issues too, and so I try to like talk about it on my blog. So I really wanted to share these experiences with you, not to like scare you away. I don't want to do that, but like just to tell you the honest truth of what I went through. And to be honest, after that I was so infuriated and so tired of trying to find a therapist that I just gave up the whole thing and tried to fix myself, which worked. I mean, for the meantime, like, it worked. I'm not here to scare you away from therapy or anything. I'm just being honest with my personal experience and what I went through and what I learned, and to tell you, like, do try it, because there are going to be really great therapists out there. You just have to really dig and find them. A lot of the therapists that the insurance provided, I like googled online and there was barely any information on them, so that's not really helpful. And so if you do have a really great experience with a therapist and you're going to a therapist right now and you love them and they're really kind and really helpful, please help other people out by like posting reviews on them or just like telling people about them. That's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be sharing more of my experiences later on this channel, so please subscribe if you would like that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!